Switch between layers right from your canvas with the Layer Select tool in Procreate. The Layer Select tool is a great option for those of us who end up with one too many layers to manage, but it's also just a really immediate way to get into that area that you want to paint on, meaning there's a more direct line between your idea and getting it down. It might not be something you use in every workflow, but I've personally found it's really good to have it there for when you need it. A scenario you might be familiar with, like finding a rogue pixel or brushstroke that you want to erase, Layer Select is just the thing you need. So let's set it up. In your Actions menu, go to Preferences, and in Gesture Controls, open the Layer Select tab. There are a few different options for activating the shortcut. Let's run through them. Choosing a touch as your prompt works simply by touching a finger onto the area that you want to select. A pop-up box will appear for us to go ahead and select that layer. A drop-down bar will give you a little confirmation. If there's multiple overlapping layers of paint on the same area, the pop-up will show us those different layer options to choose from. You can also hold down on the canvas and drag, using the visual isolation to find and select your layer. Easy, although for some, the touch prompt may be a little too easy to activate by accident, so let's find a more intentional prompt. For this, either the Modify Key plus Touch or the Modify Key plus Apple Pencil option kinda hits that sweet spot. These two options work very much in the same way. Once the layer pop-up is activated, tap to select your layer or hold down and drag to find your layer. Then there's Touch and Hold. Just like the eyedropper gesture, it needs only a brief pause to activate. So here's a good time to note that if any of these gestures are already assigned to other tools, like the eyedropper tool, assigning a new gesture, like Layer Select, will override that previous gesture. But you will get a little warning to notify you if this is the case. With Touch and Hold, we can adjust how long that pause is with the delay slider, lower it right down for a fast response, and increase it to get a more purposeful gesture. But for some of you, I've missed an option. That's because if you have an Apple Pencil Pro, there's an extra gesture available using the Apple Squeeze function. This gesture has that cool visual isolation when squeezing and hovering the pen over the canvas. We've covered the different gestures available, but let's get into some pro tips for using Layer Select to really get the most out of it. It's handy to name layers, of course, but with only so much time on this earth, I'd recommend just to name any layers with fine or light marks, as these can be the hardest to differentiate when using Layer Select. Likewise, if you find the thumbnails aren't clear enough to see what you're selecting, switching to the light mode can make things a little easier, and it's quicker than naming your layers. Content that's in a clipping mask that may be invisible on the canvas will still get picked up by Layer Select. So if they're getting in your way, a quick tidy up of these, either by merging layers or erasing those unseen areas, will do the trick. That's the Layer Select tool. If you need more, you can find the Procreate handbook linked in the description, or in Procreate there's a help tab as well. I hope that was helpful, and see you in the next one.